The Transport Workers Union of America was founded in 1934 by subway workers in New York City. In 1937, TWU won its charter from the CIO to organize transportation and allied industries across the United States. In the late 1930s and early 1940s, organizing workers in the Midwest was a key strategy to expanding the union. TWU needed to organize outside of New York if it was going to succeed as a national transportation union. In 1941, TWU Local 208 was born. Orville Daly, the delegate and president from the newly chartered Local 208, rose to the podium to address the 1,500 delegates at the 1941 convention. "We struggled along for 4 years trying to organize the transport workers of that city," he said. "But Columbus is notoriously open shop, and in dealing with the powerful utility company, which was anti-labor, we had a very hard struggle there." The Columbus and Southern Ohio Electric Company consisted of 519 employees who operated, cleaned, and maintained 97 streetcars, 103 trolley coaches, and 61 motor buses that serviced Columbus and the surrounding area. After 4 years of trying to do it alone, the local approached A.L. Calhoun, past president of TWU's first Ohio Local, the Akron-based Local 1, and an international executive board member. Daly recalled that the local telephoned Calhoun and asked for help. Calhoun replied, "I'll be in Columbus in 2 hours." Calhoun kept his promise, and 2 hours later, he met with the employees of the Columbus and Southern Ohio Electric Company. Aiding in the TWU drive were the steel workers, auto workers, garment workers, rubber workers, mine workers, newspaper workers, communication workers, paper and toy workers, office workers, and shoe workers. It was a united effort by all of the industrial unions of Columbus. On November 12, 1941, the TWU vote was unanimous, and a telegram sent to TWU in New York. "One election in Columbus, Ohio today. 285 transport workers." TWU was certified as the sole bargaining representative for Columbus transit workers, and contract bargaining began immediately. As convention delegate Daly had predicted months before, "I believe that with a spirit like that of the Transport Workers Union in the city of Columbus, we cannot lose." TWU Local 208, where a bus is nothing without us.
Here at Local 208, where a bus is nothing without us, we represent the customer service reps, the cashier fare box pullers, the maintenance department, and the transportation departments.
We maintain the buses, we clean the buses, we drive the buses.
Our secret to success is the people who comprise Local 208. In our bargaining, we've achieved some of the best pay rates for represented members in major transit systems in the country. My first involvement with Local 208 was on the eve of the longest strike in public sector history in Ohio. Local 208 went out on strike for around 67 days.
We went on strike because of
Part-time. They've always wanted part-time workers.
We believe here at 208 there are no part-time jobs.
There are no part-time families, therefore there should be no part-time help.
When we first were on strike, the authority tried to convince the state board and the courts, even though we had the right to strike, that right should be taken away from us because the public welfare demanded it. That argument didn't work.
Richard Simonetta, he was the then general manager at that time, and he had told our president, Fred Thibner at the time, that the buses were going to run.
He was of the understanding that he could just replace us all.
He gave us a date and a time, and which was very stupid because that let us know that we had to be there.
We were standing out in front of McKinley Avenue building.
The day they hired all the replacement drivers to drive the buses.
The door opens up and we see all these guys and full riot gear, batons, the shields, everything.
They even had people on roofs with guns.
The business is really going to pick up right now.
There were 6 of us, me, Terry Wooten, Mike Stanley, Harold Smith. We laid down in front of those buses.
They did whatever it took. Those guys made it possible for me to say, hey, I can follow in these footsteps.
They backed the buses in. Based upon that, we got the public on our side.
208 called off the strike and battled the company on other fronts for 2 long years. Through the union's efforts, management's imposed contract was eventually declared null.
They didn't get hardly any of the things in which they were insistent upon getting that had us out strike for as long as we were.
And in that strike, the local was able to preserve full-time employment for bargaining unit members.
208 was able to secure a contract in February of 1990.
I think that really put us as a solid union in the minds of management that we're willing to stand out for what it is that we believe.
That's when we started becoming political.
It's the political process that puts bread on your table. You have to make sure that those dollars are coming into the authority, and those dollars generally come from the federal government, the state government, in some instances the local government. So we have to engage with those that are going to make rules and policies and laws that affect the way that we make our living.
We actually started going to city council meetings. It says in here in the board makeup that there's a labor representative that's supposed to sit on the COTA board, and I want to pick that labor representative. Once we did that, oh man, we started running.
Hubert was recording secretary on the Central Labor Council. I became the executive vice president of the Central Labor Council, and then also got elected to the Ohio AFL-CIO as the vice president, in a seat that we have never held before.
We started attending COPE conferences, endorsing people.
There are times that we're down in the mayor's office. We'll go to Washington, D.C.
If you support us, we'll support you.
If you don't have a part of your local that is hell-bent on the political process, you're not going to make it.
At least in the 40 years that I've been associated with Local 208, collective bargaining has come of age in Ohio. We've fought some major fights.
SB 5 on the ballot turned into issue 2. The legislation basically wanted to take away bargaining right for public employees.
Firefighters who go into burning buildings when we're all running out of them, police officers who we call up when we're in trouble, or teachers that we ask in many instances to spend more time with our kids than we do.
The Ohio legislature was behind it, and the governor, John Kasich.
You have to admit that taking some of the bargaining power away from the union diminishes it.
Bill, this is not about diminishing or attacking or being against unions. No. The issue is,
no, but you have to diminish their power,
Bill,
Governor.
let me finish.
You simply have to
passed.
do it.
This was a legislation that was going to affect unions, companies all over the place.
We wanted to stop them and let them know that unions are strong and we still play a part in the political process.
We hit the ground hard on that.
We are participating in every rally, every phone bang.
We're at the state secretary's office,
dropping off the repeal SB 5 petition.
We did canvassing.
We started a voter registration drive right in front of our hall.
We called people asking for SB 5 to be taken down.
We contacted our congressmen, senators. We had the international TWU bus come down.
Every time there was something to do, the members stepped up to the plate and were there in every way.
For me, being a local union president, to see so many individuals and members of mine participate, it was a great accomplishment.
They sent a message to John Kasich, hey, it's not going to happen today.
In a landslide, issue number 2 has been defeated. The union busting Senate Bill 5 will not become law.
A bus is nothing without us.
I think Hubert Sneed was the one that created that tagline.
TWU Local 208.
A bus is nothing without us.
It really means a bus is nothing without us.
We had a meeting with the general manager. He got to talking about, we do this and we do that and we supply this and we supply that. I blurted out, well, you don't do nothing without us.
We maintain the buses, we clean the buses, we drive the buses.
That bus will not run, will not move, will not function without us.
In fact, we put it on our voicemail when voicemails just started.
Hello, and thank you for calling TWU Local 208, where a bus is nothing without us.
When the phone rings, let them hear that, you know what I mean, and then answer the phone, you know, hello.
In 2010, when I took office, we patented. That's how much I love that saying and how much it means to me.
The bus is nothing without the members of Transport Workers Union, Local 208.
Back in 2012,
operators were being spat upon, sucker punched, knives pulled on them. I felt that the company didn't understand assaults that were happening to us. The 2013 strike, it was about worker safety.
Boom Night is the night in which Columbus celebrates Independence Day.
It is the biggest weekend in Central Ohio for bus transit.
They have the big fireworks program. CODA has partnered with the city, shuttling people into downtown. CODA makes a lot of money that night. We bring thousands of people into the downtown area for this event.
And with that focus, we drew attention to the concerns that the members had.
It was a 3-day strike, and it caused ridership to drop drastically.
For us to come together and shut down Boom for that year, when it comes to taking care of our members, we're serious about what we're doing.
I got a lot of phone calls from the public that were outraged that the authority didn't place a high priority on operator safety. The mayor's office, the governor's office, city council made phone calls to the CEO. We put the vote back on the floor, and it was ratified, and we were back to work.
We're at St. Stephen's Community Center in Columbus, Ohio.
And this is their community food drive for Christmas.
It's a distribution line. They're loading the different items of food in the cart. The cart goes back out to the car. We load the car up. We hope to serve 4,000 families. Last year it was about 3,500.
Because of labor, we're able to have the lives that we have. And it's only natural that we give that back to somebody who may not be as fortunate as we are. And that's what our community service is about.
In 2010, we adopted a special needs school in our community.
Parsons Elementary Avenue. A good portion of that school is special needs.
And every year we give supplies.
They'll tell us what their needs are for that year, and we'll make donations.
We feed the homeless on the 1st, the 3rd, and the 4th Saturday of every month. We've been doing that for over 20 years now.
And when we go into these shelters, people come in who've gotten off of our buses, and they connect like, oh, you were my bus driver last week. Race for the Cure shows our support of the community plus our people on the property to let them know that, you know, we're in this fight with you, you're not alone.
Operation Feed.
We do clothing drives. We work with the other unions for the Union Cares, Union Shares, and we serve over 3,800 families during the holiday season.
It's a way to show people that we care and we're here.
75 years with Local 208, where a bus is nothing without us.
I think that we've lasted 75 years because
Each generation of members carries on the tradition of the members that were here before us.
We've lasted long because there's been people who have that desire, have that passion.
Our members believe in what we do and how we do it.
I feel just as confident with them as I did from the first day that I came here.
We're about families. We're about
That quality, commitment, that loyalty.
all of those things come together and make a difference.
The way we have each other's backs will never change.
While we think about all the people who've done so much for this local, we also think forward.
I hope that we continue to grow strong. I hope that we continue to engage the membership, and I definitely hope that we continue to serve the community.
What I see is a brotherhood and sisterhood of the members of Local 208. They care about their families, they care about each other at work.
I care about my brother, I care about my sister.
There was a coalition that we had there that was just wonderful, and I really appreciated it. And I do to this day. Everything I have right now, I owe it to TWU.
Forever grateful.
For what it's done for the local labor movement, for what it's done for its members, and for what it's done in the broader community.
The bus is nothing without us.